Now, given that Meghan Markle's new upcoming series by Netflix called With Love, Meghan is now officially delayed from January 15th, it was supposed to debut tomorrow, all the way until March 4th of 2025, all because of the LA fires. Now, we all know that Meghan Markle was in the process of trying to get this show delayed well before the LA fires, and Netflix really refused about everything going into that, all of those different demands by Meghan Markle, and then out of nowhere, something that's already shot, something that's already finished, doesn't need to be delayed, everything's all edited together and set and ready to go, she decides to use the LA fires as a reason for Netflix to delay this thing. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Meghan Markle is that we know that she is in serious trouble right now when it comes to her basically trying to stay in the limelight, trying to stay at the center of attention, and it's really not working at all. We all know that she is desperately trying to get another contract deal with another studio or multiple studios out there because she sees that the contract via Netflix is coming to a close by beyond 2025, that she may very well not get a renewal on that. Now, what's interesting about Meghan Markle right now has a lot to do with the recent banning situation and exactly what really led up to this point. Now, we all know that Meghan Markle, and I think that you will all agree, is that she is by far one of the fakest personalities out there, one of the fakest individuals in the public eye who really does not deserve the status that she is getting. Now, one thing about Markle is that we know that everything that she does, almost everything, is disingenuous. It's all for either a photo op or for an opportunity to really present herself in a way that she really isn't, and that's basically Meghan Markle right there. Now, moving onwards, with Netflix continuing to get so much backlash for their upcoming series With Love, Meghan, starring Meghan Markle, one monumental development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle in the aftermath of the trailer Backlash. Now, after losing a series over at HBO that was going to be called Motivated by Meghan, we talked about this. That whole deal went sour. A crucial update to her situation now involves how Meghan Markle, who was recently banned/blacklisted from a major Hollywood studio and from a project for an upcoming comedy film that was going to be a spiritual successor, and I say spiritual successor, not a sequel, to Horrible Bosses. Now, this very studio was Warner Brothers, in which they recently banned Meghan Markle from a film that was going to include her as a supporting character, or a supporting actress, and was going to provide her a payout of around $6 to $7 million for her role. And then the main reason behind Meghan Markle getting banned by Warner Brothers, the very same studio, by the way, that created Horrible Bosses, had to do with her past and how she made a cameo in that film back in 2011. This was how she got the role in the new Horrible Bosses spiritual successor film. However, Markle was aggressively demanding a higher payout for the supporting role. Now, this role for Markle wasn't described as a very large one. She was planned to be in the film for roughly 20 minutes at best. However, felt that she deserved more screen time since she made her case that she appeared in Horrible Bosses back in 2011 in a small role. Now, WB recently banned Markle from the film, as it turns out, after learning about the Netflix series drama and backlash, both publicly and internally at the studio, and also Markle's behavior was described as difficult to work with at WB. This is yet another personality or celebrity that was fired by WB in 2025. Though Markle is already not taking this decision very, very well, with her Netflix show now delayed until March 4th and using the LA fires as the reason as to why it was delayed. Now, guys, let me just say one thing about that real quick. Now, just to really go back to what was going on weeks ago, is that Meghan Markle was demanding Netflix to delay her series until around May, maybe June, multiple months well beyond January 15th. And a lot of it had to do with creative differences. Also, it had to do with the Netflix trailer Backlash the day after it debuted and got so much pushback. So it has nothing to do with the LA fires. And by the way, guys, terrible thing that's happening over there. It's awful. And to use that as a photo op and to just use that as an opportunity to look, all high and mighty and prop yourself up on the status table, it really is truly offensive to a lot of people that are suffering in LA and throughout California. Now, with Meghan Markle's ban from WB, since they never want to work with her again, other studios, believe it or not, are beginning to wake up and follow suit. This comes in light of the situation where Markle is getting nervous that her Netflix contract deal will not be renewed beyond 25, especially after her series drops on March 4th and is inevitably going to underperform. Warner Brothers' Horrible Bosses spiritual successor film that was supposed to star Meghan Markle is now reportedly going to replace her role, get this, with a new upcoming unknown actress around the same age range. And Markle is aware of this and even informed WB that hiring an unknown actress that does not appear like her is a disgrace for the role in the new comedy film. So I'm surprised that she didn't blame DEI or sexism and misogyny in this case, but now what she's doing is she's blaming WB for not hiring the proper actress to replace her that would look like her. And that really is very self-centered. It's typical Meghan Markle. This is just how she is. This is how she's always been. If you really go way back in 2010, 2009, interestingly enough, I think that Warner Brothers is the studio in the Hollywood bubble that's really waking up the most right now. So far, they got rid of George Clooney, they canned him from so many projects, they canned Robert De Niro from so many different projects out there, and the list goes on and on and on. Even Julia Roberts and Meghan Markle, though it wasn't a very huge role, by the way, it was a role big enough to the point where I think it would have done some damage to this comedy film for Warner Brothers, and they realized that, and they also realized all the toxicity going on behind the scenes over at Netflix, as we discussed days ago. So, to top things off, Markle shockingly still has another supporting role, or other supporting roles, and cameos lined up with other studios for movies, both horror-related and comedy-related. And more of those studios are beginning to have conversations of dropping Meghan Markle altogether. So, think about that. First, you have Warner Brothers. Well, beyond that, before that, you had HBO, who dropped her from a whole series that was going to focus on a workout regimen. Now you have Warner Brothers tossing her out, banning her from the studio, getting rid of her from this role for this Horrible Bosses spiritual successor film, getting her out of that project, and never wanting to work with her again. That's huge, and how other studios are now really beginning to follow suit, and they are looking at Netflix specifically. They are looking at March 4th to see how universally rejected this project is going to truly be by the public. That's when I think you're going to see a lot of studios dropping Meghan Markle like dominoes. That's where it's all going to happen. Come March, you're going to see a lot of this begin to tumble. So overall, look, I think that Meghan Markle using California's situation to delay the series as a very desperate move. And look, we all know that's not the reason why. We talked about this days upon days ago, well before the LA fires even happened, that Meghan Markle was pressuring the Netflix board of directors and even CEO Greg Peters to get this series delayed, and even urged them again once the backlash began to settle in, just a day after the trailer debuted. What was it, like 11, 12 days ago? So there's that. So it was a combination of those two things that really led to the delay, and she pressured them, with all of her might and all of her, energy, like there was no tomorrow, basically. But overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.